In 1770, Rothschild marries. Mayer Amschel Rothschild marries Gutel Schnepper. In 1773, Amschel Mayer Rothschild is born, the first of Mayer Amschel Rothschild's sons. He, like all of his brothers who follow him, will enter the family business at the age of 12. In 1774, Salomon Mayer Amschel Rothschild is born. In 1776, Adam Weishaupt officially completes his organization of the Illuminati on May 1st of this year. The purpose of the Illuminati is to divide the Goyim, all non-Jews, through political, economic, social, and religious means. The opposing sides were to be armed, and incidents were to be provided in order for them to fight against themselves, destroy national governments, destroy religious institutions, and eventually destroy each other. In that same year, Weishaupt soon infiltrates the Continental Order of Freemasons with his Illuminati doctrine and establishes the lodges of the Grand Orient to be their secret headquarters. This was all under the orders and finance of Mayer Amschel Rothschild, and the concept has spread and is followed within Masonic lodges worldwide to the present day. Now, Rothschild's paid stooge, Adam Weishaupt, also recruits 2,000 paid followers, including the most intelligent men in the field of arts and letters, education, science, finance, and industry. They are instructed to follow the following methods in order to control people. Number one method was of subverting governments, to use monetary and sex bribery to obtain control of men already in high places, in the various levels of all governments and other fields of endeavor. Once influential persons had fallen for the lies, deceits, and temptations of the Illuminati, they were to be held in bondage by application of political and other forms of blackmail, threats of financial ruin, public exposure, and fiscal harm, even death to themselves and loved members of their families. Their second goal was in subverting education by the faculties of colleges and universities were to cultivate students possessing exceptional mental ability, belonging to well-bred families with international leanings, and recommended them for special training in internationalism, or rather the notion that only a one-world government can put an end to recurring wars and strife. Such training was to be provided by granting scholarships to those selected by the Illuminati. Their third method was to subvert ethics, policies, measures, religions, governments, and banks. All influential people trapped into coming under the control of the Illuminati, plus the students who had been specially educated and trained, were to be used as agents and placed behind the scenes of all governments as experts and specialists. This was so they would advise the top executives to adopt policies which would, in the long run, serve the secret plans of the Illuminati one world conspiracy and bring about the destruction of the governments and religions they were elected or appointed to serve. Their fourth method was the subversion of press. To obtain absolute control of the press, at that time the only mass communications and media which distributed information to the public, so that all news and information could be slanted in order to make the masses believe that a one-world government is the only solution to our many and varied problems. In 1777, Nathan Mayer Rothschild, another parasite, is born. In 1784, Adam Weishaupt issues his order for the French Revolution to be started by Maximilien Robespierre in book form. This book was written by one of Weishaupt's associates, Xavier Zouac, and sent by courier from Frankfurt to Paris. However, en route there, the courier is struck by lightning, the book detailing this plan discovered by the police and handed over to the Bavarian authorities. As a consequence, the Bavarian government orders the police to raid Weishaupt's Masonic lodges of the Grand Orient. and homes of his most influential associates. Clearly, the Bavarian authorities were convinced that the book that was discovered was a very real threat by a private group of influential people to use wars and revolutions to achieve their political ends. In 1785, the Bavarian government outlaws the Illuminati and closes all the Bavarian lodges of the Grand Orient. Also in 1785, Mayor Amschel Rothschild moves his family home to a 5-story house in Frankfurt, which he shares with the Schiff family. In 1786, the Bavarian government publishes the details of the Illuminati plot in the document entitled The Original Writings of the Order and Sect of the Illuminati. They then send this document to all the heads of the church and state throughout Europe. But sadly, their warning is ignored. In 1788, Kalman or Karl Mayer Rothschild, another parasite, is born. In 1789, due to the European ignorance of the Bavarian government's warning, the Illuminati's plan for a French Revolution succeeded from this year to 1793. This revolution was a banker's dream. It established a new constitution and passed laws that forbade the Roman Church from levying tithes or taxes, and also removed its exemption from taxation. In 1790, Mayor Amschel Rothschild states, "Let me issue and control a nation's money, and I care not who writes the laws." In 1791, the Rothschilds get control of a nation's money through Alexander Hamilton, their agent in George Washington's cabinet. When they set up a central bank in the USA called the First Bank of the United States, this is established with a 20-year charter. In 1792, Jacob or James Mayer Rothschild, another useless parasite, is born. In 1796, Amschel Mayer Rothschild marries Eva Hanoi. In 798, John Robison publishes a book entitled Proofs of a Conspiracy Against All the Religions and Governments of Europe, carried on in the secret meetings of Freemasons, Illuminati, and reading societies. In this book, Professor Robison of the University of Edinburgh, one of the leading intellects of his time, who in 1783 was elected General Secretary of the Royal Society of Edinburgh, gave details of the whole Rothschild Illuminati plot. He advised how he had been a high-degree Mason in the Scottish Rite of Freemasonry, and had been invited by Adam Weishaupt to Europe, where he had been given a revised copy of Weishaupt's conspiracy. However, although he pretended to go along with it, Professor Robison did not agree with it, and therefore published his informationed book, included details of the Bavarian government's investigations into the Illuminati and the French Revolution. That same year, on July 19th, David Papin, president of Harvard University, lectured the graduating class on the influence Illuminism was having on American politics and religion. At the age of 21, Nathan Mayer Rothschild leaves Frankfurt for England, where, with a large sum of money given to him by his father, he sets up a banking house in London. In 1800, Salomon Mayer Rothschild marries Caroline Stern. In 1806, Napoleon states that it is his objective to remove the House of Hesse-Kassel from rulership and to strike it out of the list of powers. On hearing this, Prince William IX of Hesse-Hanoi flees Germany, goes to Denmark, and entrusts his fortune, valued at $3 million at that time, to Mayer Amschel Rothschild for safekeeping. In this year, in 1806, Nathan Mayer Rothschild marries Hannah Berendt Cohen, the daughter of a wealthy London merchant. In 1808, Nathan Mayer Rothschild has his first son born, Lionel Nathan de Rothschild. In 1810, Sir Francis Baring and Abraham Goldsmith die. This leaves Nathan Mayer Rothschild as the remaining major banker in England.